Good morning, brought to you by coffee. Good morning, everybody. It is about 6:15 in the morning here in Geneva, Switzerland, and today I'm going to go to Lake Geneva to capture a sunrise photo that I've actually captured before. And today's going to be an interesting test of the power of planning in photography because I've taken this shot, but when I did, while there were some elements I liked, it wasn't perfect. The sun wasn't where I wanted it to be, and I thought that this image would look a lot better if the sun was in the middle of the frame. You'll see why in a little bit. But when I was processing the images later that day, I realized that I could make that happen. I could figure out where the sun was going to be along the horizon later in the season, and I could come back and make a much better photograph. So again, the power of planning. You can't really, obviously you can't control the elements, but you can plan to be there when the elements are where you want them. And there's a big difference between an image that is nice looking and an image that is, I don't want to say perfect, but has all of those elements like a leading line and the sun right in the middle of the line. It just really takes it to the next level. So that's what I'm going to try today. Let's go check it out.
It's a cool hard wind outside my window. Ooh, where people don't know which way to go.
Okay, so I'm about 30 seconds from where I plan to be down over there where this little dock slash pier thing is. And unfortunately, the elements aren't quite as perfect as I was hoping they would be. The water has a bit more motion in it than I was hoping for. Last time I was here, the water was relatively flat, and so what I think I'm going to end up doing is potentially using a neutral density filter to create a longer exposure to at least smooth the lake out artificially. And there's one other point actually that is kind of a lesson for me that I want to pass along to you, and that is even if you plan to take a shot at a future date, you actually have to do it, because the truth is the sun was going to be right in the middle of this composition in October, and I forgot, and it's now November. So I'm going to make the best of it, but what I'm going to do in the future is create a calendar in which I can put all of the future shots that I plan to take so I don't miss them. Anyway, I'm 30 seconds away. Let's go. Okay, so I am arrived and set up here at Lake Geneva. My composition is just behind me, and what I want to do is walk you through some of the compositional elements from foreground to background and explain why I framed them the way that I did and what I'm hoping for. So first off, you can kind of see this sort of curved cement beach structure that I'm standing on. What I'm going to do is put that just at the bottom of the frame, and I'm going to use the curve coming from the edges to sort of draw the eye to the center of the frame, where I'm going to have a very strong leading line in this bridge. That bridge is then going to walk the viewer's eye up from the bottom to the midground of the image, which is going to be dominated by a perfectly flat body of water. Now the lake is not as reflective and smooth as I was hoping it would be, so I'm going to do whatever I need to do in camera to slow the exposure down so that lake becomes perfectly flat. Then going back further, that flat lake, by the way, is going to really sort of support the subject by not being too distracting, which is going to be the pink hues in the sky that are already starting to pop just a little bit from sunrise, and then the mountains in the background, the sunrise colors, and I think we're going to end up having a really well balanced, nice image. Now one thing, I don't really modify my photos too much, but these two piers here, this one and that one, I might try to remove those in post just because I think they're a bit distracting and a bit unsightly. Okay, well now all there is left to do is just wait for the light. Okay, so the light is really starting to develop and intensify. Let me see if I can show you here. The oranges are getting much more intense and vibrant. That reflection on the water is really beginning to show up. And I think we're getting to the point where the light is almost going to be peaked. So I'm going to get behind the camera now and, well, I'm going to wait just a little bit longer, but then I'm going to take an image. Okay, so I think our colors are getting just about as intense as I want them. I think we're about at the perfect moment to take this image. The sky's even so bright it's going to be hard for you to see. I have a 6-stop neutral density filter on the front of my camera here. That's slowing my exposure down to a 20-second exposure at f14. I'm going to do a double exposure. I'm going to post this specifically for the highlights because I want to capture all that intensity and all those colors. So I'm going to go ahead and flip the camera on and show you. I have a red, green, blue histogram up right now, and that's so I can ensure that no color channels were blown out. And let's go ahead and take the exposure highlight shot now. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and take another image about a stop or so brighter. So I think that one was actually a little too dark. Again, still focusing on the highlights here. And what I'm doing is I'm more worried about capturing these perfect highlights while I have the chance, because I can always take a background shot and blend that in pretty easily. All right, so our light is getting bright. We're losing the deep saturation in the colors. It's so fleeting when you have perfect light when you're doing landscape photography. But I showed you the images that I took, and now I'm going to go ahead and show you the final image with all of the exposures that I wanted to keep blended together. All right, that's gonna do it for this morning, everybody. There's two lessons here that I wanna highlight for myself as a photographer. The first one being that you don't always have to go to faraway places to capture great images. And the second being that planning can really elevate your photography. I'm gonna show you the image that I took about 1.5 years ago, and I want you guys to see just how much better the image is because the light is in the middle of the frame this time as opposed to being off to one side. I'm gonna go ahead and close with the final composition from all of the exposures that I took today blended together. I hope that you enjoyed the photo. Thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate it, and I will see you guys next time. Bye for now. All right, everybody, that's going to do it for this morning. I'm too tired. That's gonna do it. Oh my God, it's gonna do it for this morning. It's gonna be great. Planning your images can really elevate your quality, your photographic results. Oh, why can't everything bad? Okay, that's gonna do it for us. Okay, that's gonna be it. What was I saying before? I can't finish this video.
Okay, that's gonna be it for this morning.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah, thank you. All right, one last try. I'm gonna nail it.
Boom.